The tale opens by introducing Billy Ray Smith, a newcomer from Boston who settles in a parched Texas frontier town to serve as a schoolteacher. One morning, in keeping with his routine, he greets the local sheriff before collecting one of his students, a girl named Nettie Telline. Nettie appears to harbor a fondness for her teacher and greets him with enthusiasm when he arrives at her home.
Oh, Nettie!
Observing her demeanor, Nettie's mother instructs her to show proper respect and address him as Mr. Smith. Nettie disregards the advice and innocently asks whether he ever saw her as a woman, rather than only as a pupil. Rather than give a direct reply, Billy Ray calmly explains the differing viewpoints of men and women, which amuses Nettie and leads her to view him as an interesting and attractive man.
Billy Ray?
At school, Billy Ray opts to read aloud from a book by Kid Durango, his favorite author. The students listen eagerly, finding the adventure story far more engaging than a math lesson. In the book, a gang of robbers attacks a town and robs a bank. As fate would have it, a real gang of bandits led by El Diablo arrives in their own town. El Diablo is notorious for his cruelty and willingness to kill anyone who opposes him. Consequently, the townspeople retreat into their homes, fearful of defiance.
It was a gunshot. No!
While everyone hides, Nettie bolts out of the school, drawn by curiosity to see the bandits. Despite Billy Ray's warning to stay inside, her disobedience turns disastrous. She is abducted by El Diablo after approaching him fearlessly. Billy Ray attempts to intervene but is swiftly overpowered and left incapacitated as the bandits escape.
Gringo! Gringo!
Injured and unable to rise, he witnesses the townspeople in chaos, discovering Nettie has been taken. Soon after, the sheriff leads a posse to pursue El Diablo, but he returns shortly in grotesque condition, gravely wounded, his tongue severed.
Oh Lord! They cut out his tongue!
None of his men return, suggesting they were likely killed. Mrs. Telline, having heard the dreadful news, collapses in shock. Billy Ray, shaken upon learning of the sheriff's mutilation, returns home. Before long, the deputy sheriff summons the townspeople to plan their next move. Tension mounts when a man named Murphy recounts El Diablo's brutality, a wanted outlaw responsible for terrorizing countless settlements. His words strip away any remaining courage from the villagers, replacing it with deepening fear.
Then it's your responsibility to go after El Diablo.
So no one is going to do anything about getting my Nettie back!
Upon hearing this, Mrs. Telline grows increasingly distraught, consumed by concern for her abducted daughter, especially after the deputy and the townsfolk refuse to confront El Diablo and his gang. Sympathizing deeply with Mrs. Telline and feeling responsible for one of his pupils, Billy Ray volunteers to go rescue Nettie.
You and who else, schoolteacher?
His sincerity, however, is dismissed by the townspeople who mock him as just a teacher who doesn't know how to shoot or fight. They note he can't even ride a horse, which only reinforces their pessimism, including Mrs. Telline's. Before setting out on his mission, Murphy steps in to teach Billy Ray how to shoot and even gives him a pistol. Murphy also tells him of a place where he might find someone to help conduct the rescue, aware that Billy Ray cannot do it alone. Prior to departing, Mrs. Telline finally offers her support, and the deputy provides him with a horse. But the town still underestimates him, particularly when he falls off the horse and accidentally shoots it, forcing him to continue his journey by train. After a 3-day trek, Billy Ray arrives in a town called Millennium. He asks a local about Sheriff Shones, who supposedly rode with Kid Durango. The man directs him to a cemetery, where Billy Ray discovers Shones is deceased.
Maybe I can be of some assistance.
Shortly thereafter, the newly appointed sheriff is unexpectedly shot dead from behind by a man named Thomas Van Leek. Witnessing this, Billy Ray demands to know why Van Leek killed the new sheriff. Van Leek calmly says the man had killed his best friend, Shones. On hearing this, Billy Ray inquires about Kid Durango and explains he wants to hire him because Durango is reputed to be the fastest gun in the West. Van Leek, assuming Billy Ray has money, eagerly offers his services and claims acquaintance with Kid Durango. He even gives Billy Ray an illegal horse. Thus, Billy Ray begins a new journey with Van Leek, mount and all, though he falls several times. That night, while resting, Van Leek asks what task motivated Billy Ray to seek out Kid Durango. Billy Ray reveals his mission: to rescue a girl abducted by El Diablo and his gang. Shocked at his daring, Van Leek calls him foolish for challenging El Diablo and leaves him the next day.
Wrong territory. You can't ride, you can't shoot, you can't even think, boy. Goddamn fool.
Continuing alone, Billy Ray is suddenly chased by a group of bounty hunters who believe he killed the new sheriff in the cemetery. He attempts to flee, but his horse is shot, and he is forced to hide in a small shack.
Shoot it down! No! Oh, dear.
There he is. Look, he's going in the shitter.
The hunters find his hiding place and open fire. As they wait outside, Van Leek reappears and begins picking them off one by one to rescue Billy Ray.
Who is that?
Hidden inside, Billy Ray watches in admiration as Van Leek executes precise shots. One bounty hunter spots Billy Ray and prepares to kill him, but Van Leek notices and shoots the attacker, who falls into the shack. The wounded hunter attempts to fire at Billy Ray, but misses and hits his comrade fleeing nearby. Van Leek misinterprets the shot as coming from Billy Ray and praises him. Spotting another hunter fleeing toward a hill, Van Leek takes his sniper rifle and shoots him down, impressing Billy Ray even further. Billy Ray then persuades Van Leek to join him in confronting El Diablo. After deliberation, Van Leek agrees, suggesting they form a team of skilled individuals. The following day, Van Leek and Billy Ray recruit Bib Patterson, a blacksmith and Van Leek's old acquaintance, who agrees to help out of personal vengeance. El Diablo once kidnapped and tortured him. On their journey, they arrive in a small town where townsfolk gather for the execution of two criminals. A preacher named Autolus is soliciting money as he preaches. Bib recognizes the preacher as a fraud and suggests recruiting Autolus and the condemned men, Bob Zamudio and Pitchfork Napier.
We don't need you dead men now.
They then set out toward Mexico to rescue Nettie. While resting, Napier senses they are being watched. Suddenly an arrow flies into his heart, killing him instantly. The arrow was shot by a Native American named Dancing Bear, seeking revenge for his wife's assault by Napier. Impressed by Bear's archery, Van Leek recruits him. Bob, an explosives expert, displays his skill by creating a hand-triggered blast. Retrieving a cache of dynamite buried in the desert, they continue until reaching the Mexican border. There, at a saloon, Van Leek introduces Billy Ray to Truman Feathers, who turns out to be Kid Durango. Billy Ray is stunned to learn Durango is not the hero he imagined, and that Durango's daring stories are based on Van Leek's life. Though disappointed, Billy Ray sets that aside when Durango provides crucial intelligence on Pastoso, one of El Diablo's men present in the saloon. Van Leek urges Billy Ray to confront Pastoso in a duel to get the location of El Diablo's hideout. The next morning, Billy Ray gathers courage to challenge Pastoso, showing him El Diablo's spur that he retrieved while trying to save Nettie. Pastoso accepts the duel. As they draw, Van Leek secretly sniper shoots Pastoso from a bell tower, killing him instantly. Chuck Mole, Pastoso's companion, arrives and is shocked at his death. Billy Ray presents El Diablo's spur to Chuck Mole, who agrees to reveal the hideout's location on condition that Billy Ray comes alone. The following day, Van Leek and their team prepare to move out while Kid Durango joins to gather material for his next story. Soon, as arranged, Billy Ray meets Chuck Mole alone near the Tree of Death, while Van Leek and the others watch from a distance. Sensing numerous guards, Autolus disguises himself as a photographer, pretending to take pictures. The guards gather, which allows Van Leek and Bear to strike. After defeating the guards, they infiltrate El Diablo's lair, where Billy Ray is bound to a tree. El Diablo arrives and asks why Billy Ray has come. Billy Ray declares he'll trade El Diablo's family heirloom spur for Nettie's freedom. Though the outlaw values the heirloom, he refuses. Nettie has already become his consort. Meanwhile, Bib, Autolus, and Bob prepare to act but are attacked by more guards suspicious of intruders. In the ensuing fight, Bob and Autolus die, leaving Bib alone. Bib reaches a pre-arranged spot and waits for Van Leek's signal. When it comes, he lights the fuse on the explosives in his wagon and drives it toward the hideout. He intends to detonate it but becomes trapped, choosing to sacrifice himself.
Savagery. Oh, what the hell?
The massive explosion distracts El Diablo and his men, enabling Van Leek and Bear to press their attack. Amid the chaos, El Diablo escapes with Nettie. After the battle, Van Leek stumbles upon a hidden chest of gold and reveals his true motive. He has been after El Diablo's treasure all along. Feeling betrayed, Billy Ray parts ways and proceeds alone. He eventually finds Nettie and El Diablo fleeing through a cave. As Billy Ray confronts the outlaw, Kid Durango suddenly appears and challenges El Diablo in a duel, hoping to prove himself hero. Tragically, El Diablo shoots him in the chest. With his dying breath, Durango implores Billy Ray to end the story by killing El Diablo. As El Diablo turns to kill Billy Ray, Van Leek intervenes with a sudden challenge. During the duel, El Diablo wounds Van Leek's shoulder and incapacitates him, preparing to deliver the final blow, when unexpectedly, Billy Ray fires, killing El Diablo. Witnessing this, Van Leek is impressed and praises Billy Ray. Soon after, they bury their fallen allies and Billy Ray pays final tribute to Kid Durango for his heroic sacrifice. Some time later, he fulfills his promise to Mrs. Telline by bringing Nettie safely home. The townspeople, once doubtful, now admire him for rescuing Nettie from El Diablo's gang. Yet rather than settle down as a teacher, Billy Ray chooses to join Van Leek for new adventures, honoring Kid Durango's final wish for him to complete the story. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy, hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice just to be sure. You should watch the full movie. Thank you very much for watching.